So we just did a taste of Sibiu. Regan, what do you think, buddy?
We only got a TA. We haven't even done the SDE yet.
Oh boy, I don't know what that means, but that sounds hard. What about you?
That was just Sibiu starter. I think we got the main and the dessert coming up, but
yay.
Yeah, it's awesome.
4-course meal, huh?
Maybe, yeah, maybe 3 with a drink. I don't know.
That's what it's all about, boys and girls.
The Rockhound Rally takes place in Cloyne, Ontario. 2.5 to 3.5 hour drive from Toronto, depending on traffic. The same spot where Chloe's Kingdom takes place as well. The area is simply amazing and home to a number of rallies and events. The terrain you find here is unlike anywhere else in Ontario. We're passing through Tweed, then through Cloyne, and finally getting to our destination for the night, Loon's Call Campground. After pulling in, getting settled, and unloading the bike, it's time to hang out and chill with some of the racers. The entire campground, as well as nearby motels, are overrun by motorcyclists, and campfires are full of stories of riding, connecting with old friends, and overall boasting about what's going to happen tomorrow.
Good morning.
So after some morning shenanigans, we're all headed to the registration line to get ready for the day's rally. First, of course, you have to register, get your names in for the door prizes, and get the Rockhound Rally stickers. Also, the Red Bull vehicle chasing the rally today is a crazy apocalypse assault machine worth checking out. We're getting our stickers on, making sure that we can be identified by the ride officials and the team managing the event. The bikes are all baking in sunshine. It is already plus 30 degrees and we are ready to go. Look at this pretty beta. I think that's Laura Penwell's bike, and we have Paul here as well on his 2-stroke. Some of the guys are getting last minute directions from experts and organizers on how to use GPS and which points of the road the rally to avoid, and perhaps some dangers along the route. We are all set and ready to go. Lined up at the starting arches, we're ready to go, and of course there's some more time for shenanigans. Now that's it. I read out my number and we're off to the races. The first section is somewhat of a prologue, really to get out of the quarry. And let me tell you, it does catch a few riders by surprise. The terrain will ease up a little bit, at least through the transit sections, until we get into the specials. But this little twisty-turny trail was exciting. Now it's important to remember that the Rockhound Rally is not a race per se. At least it's not being run as a race in this year. It is a fun navigational challenge with anywhere between 0 to 11 special stages, which must be completed to accomplish a particular level difficulty course. There is iron for big bikes, bronze, silver, and gold classes. Today, we're competing in the gold class, which means we have to compete all the special stages in order to consider the course completed. We will follow the navigational tracks provided by Rally Connex and Lee Martin and arrive at a particular special stage, go through it, and hopefully get to the end of the course, having finished every one of them. I'm following Regan right now through the double track and through some of the roads which are considered transit sections. As you see us get into tighter, more difficult, and more challenging terrain, you will start to notice orange ribbons on the tree course marking the way to help the GPS coordinates. That is typically where you'll find the specials. And the specials have funny names, anywhere from Miami Beach, Zachary Problem, and Logger's Breakfast. Often, as I realized, the name has little to do with what you actually find on the trail itself, because to my surprise, there wasn't any water on Miami Beach, but there certainly was on the trail after. You can see now some of the orange ribbons, and this is the beginning of the Logger's Breakfast. And here's the first somewhat challenging area with a water crossing. Now, it may not be as challenging, especially on camera, but it will give some trouble to some of the riders. And as you can see, Regan is making a meal out of that hill climb. The important thing crossing the water is, of course, to not stall in the middle of the water or drop the bike, because that could mean the end of your day. We're back into single track and going through the rest of the first special stage. The group ahead of me you're seeing is the Rusty Sprockets group. If you haven't yet seen the video from this event or some of the other shenanigans, make sure you check it out. Now we're back on the tarmac for a quick transit, so that reminds me, it is best to have a blue plate bike for this type of event, just to make sure you don't get any trouble with the police while crossing some of the roads in between trails. Now those stretches won't be long, and before you know it, you're again going through the deep mud and single track trail of the special sections. Now, a cool thing about the Rockhound Rally is it's one of the few events that gives riders a choice about the course they take. Not only are you able to decide which challenges you undertake if you run the silver or bronze class, but also, even in the gold class, you have a choice between certain lines. This section is called the bushwhack. You have two options: take the road the longer way around, or take the straight line cut through the trails, or at least the forest, with some resemblance of a line, and bushwhack your way in a shorter path. Our team decided to bushwhack, and right now we're actually one of the first ones to go through this section today. So as you can see, in most areas there really isn't much of a trail. you start seeing the clearing and the bushwhack section is almost done. Here's the road. We're going to rejoin it for a transit until we get to the next challenge area to continue our journey for the day. Now this is Miami Beach, one of the most famous sections of the Rockhound Rally. Let's take a look at the full end-to-end ride through the section so you have an idea of what a special stage may look like. Miami Beach is rated 4 out of 5 as far as difficulty level. I would say it maybe is closer to a 3 because Taste of Sibiu definitely kicked my butt a lot harder than this one did, but nonetheless, both were super exciting. So as you probably have noticed, most of this terrain is single track, wooded landscape. Not terribly challenging, but definitely enough to keep you alert and test some of your riding skills. Here comes one of my favorite sections of Miami Beach. This is a zigzag hill climb that seems to go on for quite some time.
I apologize, I just ruined the hill climb footage. That was a very lazy, sitting on the back seat of your pants climb. I'm still getting used to these suspension settings after getting the bike back from suspension service. And I have a feeling I don't have my sag reset properly. So I'm just bouncing everywhere. As a result, lots of sitting. Sorry guys.
And now, almost 10 minutes into the challenge, we arrive at the beach part of Miami Beach. It lasts all of 2 seconds, and here we are, ready for the next feature of this challenge, the big hill climb. Now, there are 3 different ways to take. One is chicken line, one is the general line, and one is the hard climb. Now, my team is laser focused on getting to the end of this event, so we picked the medium or intermediate line. I know that the guys at Rusty's Sprockets and some of the other folks after us will probably throw their bikes over to the right to see if they can conquer the monster line. However, for today, we're headed straight up the intermediate line and over to the next part of this special. Now, when you're in the end of Miami Beach, overall, the special stage took our team about 14 minutes to complete, which is characteristic of many stages on the rally. Of course, some of the more difficult specials like Zachary's Problems and Taste of Sibiu are much more difficult than Miami Beach, but this should give you a good idea of what a special stage on this rally looks like. This next section is called high voltage. It is the last section before lunch, and we're super eager to get it over with, to get to a lunch spot and grab some Red Bull to get our energy up and running. However, when you rush, bad things happen, and this is exactly where disaster strikes. My buddy Regan would be the first one to attempt the challenge climb. However, he wouldn't clear the rock lip of the face and drop his bike straight onto some pointy rocks, destroying his right lower fork. All the oil would leak out of the fork, but we would still continue, finishing the day on one fork, jumping up like a pogo stick, with absolutely no control over rebound.
The back brake on.
There.
So now it's time for lunch. The food tents are set up, the gas cans have arrived, allowing us to refill and get ready for the second part of the day. Everybody grabs their lunch, gets fueled up, and gets ready to go out there again.
Number!
Here, George forgot to check in with the steward, giving him his number to make sure they can keep track who actually entered the course for the second portion of the day. finally, one of the most famous stretches of the rally is the Taste of Sibiu. After Zachary's problem, which we didn't get a chance to do this year, Taste of Sibiu is one of the most challenging sections of the Rockhound. This section was specifically designed by Lee Martin to mimic one of the days on the Romaniacs Hard Enduro Rally. While each individual section of this particular challenge wasn't as daunting per se, it was absolutely draining to go through one challenge after another, whether it was logs, riverbeds, or hill climbs. Probably a section we enjoyed the most, but at the same time one that took the most out of all the riders. During this challenge section, we crossed everything from swamps to steep inclines to riverbeds to rocks and logs. Pretty much everything you could imagine that a rider in Romaniacs would face. What interesting was that talking to a few of the riders that actually have finished Romaniacs, such as Scott Thornton and the rest of the 150 crew that finished it this year, this type of terrain would actually continue on the real Romaniacs for 3 days on end. No break, nor respite, 8 hours a day of hammering through trails like these. Simply incredible.
You okay? Where's the chicken line?
So now this next challenge section is a steep descent, and only wussies take the chicken line on anything going down. But I can't help to think as I watch Regan and then follow him, just how close the trees are to the handlebars. It takes one wrong move to smash the handguard on one of these trees and then go flying sideways, which would have been an unpleasant situation. Yes, I lose my front here, like pulling too much front brake to avoid going down the hill further down. But all in all, a successful descent, and we're on for the rest of this challenge. starting to almost enjoy this small, windy, almost bushwhacking trail we're on, and thinking that this is not so bad. Enjoyable, beautiful terrain, beautiful landscape, until I get too relaxed.
Oh fuck. My ride is gone. Yep. My ride is gone. I mean, I wouldn't mind a hand. Oh, just lift it over? Thank you. Well, I better get going fast because I'll be overheating.
Later found out that it really wasn't my ride that was punctured, but most likely just some fuel supposedly overflowed out. But at this point, I was a man on a mission to try to get out of this trail before my bike overheated. Straight up? What's that? No idea.
So you can go up there for fun, everyone does it. And then they realize that the trail is...
Got it. Well, my red is punctured, so I don't think I'm going to be fucking around too much. Yeah. So, again, twice now. Wow. I mean, that was... I fell on something, but yeah.
Having recovered a little bit and fixed up my handguard, it's time to continue. I have no idea what's ahead of me, except for a section that's called Black Mamba. No idea whether that's a hill or a river. And as I can see now, with these riders taking a quick break, it's going to be a slick river covered in slick rock. That's going to be a challenge, given how tired I am at this point. Intimidated by the rock in the water, I try to navigate my way onto the banks of the riverbed. However, that doesn't prove to be an easier path. I get stuck and stuck all over, eventually returning back into the riverbed. Completely exhausted at this point, I'm realizing that I have to get out of the riverbed to follow the track. I know that I probably won't make that incline, but I checked my bike as much as I could at the obstacle, knowing that I have a teammate behind me that'll probably have to give me a hand getting over the roots.
From the front inside, actually, if you can get me into the inside right as a first step, I'll try to.
And here's Gareth again, giving me a hand getting over the root that stalled my forward progress.
Okay,
I'm going to try my hardest not to run him over as we pull my bike up and over the obstacle.
Wait, 1, 2, 3. You okay?
After this is all done, I'll know I'll have to reciprocate, because getting through these events is a team effort, and we can't leave anyone behind or leave a favor not returned.
I'll push. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3.
Now, while this looks very similar to the Black Mamba section we just passed, this is actually another section called the Blacktop earlier in the rally, in the second half of the day. Here again, we had to follow a riverbank, but the challenge was that after a kilometer or two of the riverbank, the only way to get out was about a 5 or 6 foot vertical step coming out of the river. The wheels were submerged about a foot to a foot and a half in the water, making it even more challenging. I must admit that although I would have loved to have shown you footage of us chucking our bikes at the riverbank. At this point too, I was too dead tired to actually get off the bike and try to pretend to be Spielberg, getting best footage possible. So, take a quick look and hopefully from a distance you see the challenge as George right now attempts to get his bike up the bank first. Who would sit and wait for the other members of my crew to do the same. Eventually, it will be my turn, but either by design or by accident, the camera would actually be off, so unfortunately you won't see me struggle. But hopefully, this gives you an idea of what the Rockhound Rally is all about and gives you a crazy notion of trying it yourself next year. I, for one, can't wait to be back, and as we round this final set of corners before the finishing line, I can't wait to do this all again